Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a closer look at Nvidia and some pretty cool news that we got from Oracle. Oracle just reported earnings and the stock is up nearly 10% as I am recording. And for those that know, I am very bullish in Oracle, so I'm pretty excited about this. And on today's episode, I want to take a closer look at earnings and some other news impacting Nvidia in general. So let's get started with today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so first, let's just start off with NVIDIA news. The first thing is a French startup who creates a lot of open source AI solutions. They have a huge, popular large language model called Mistral, raises $650 million. And this is from companies like NVIDIA that did invest in this kind of funding. I do want to say this isn't the first time that NVIDIA has invested in this AI company. There are reports that in December, they raised another $500 million and they sold small stakes to companies like Nvidia, Microsoft, and Salesforce. But with this recent valuation and funding, the company itself is worth $6 billion. So we know that Nvidia is definitely doing kind of that AI investment one way or another. So it does showcase that, hey, look, the growth opportunity for Nvidia is not just the products that they create, but who knows, maybe one of these companies that they're investing in right now could be the next $100 billion trillion company in the future. Next piece of news I want to take a closer look at is there are reports that Nvidia obviously dominated the data center market, but we really didn't know by how much. They mentioned that Nvidia gained roughly 98% of the overall market, and they shipped nearly 4 million units in 2023. Based on this report, they shipped 3.76 million units of data center GPUs, which is almost 1 million more than what the company achieved back in 2022. We also see reports that companies like AMD and Intel barely shipped out 500,000 units this year. So we can see Nvidia continues to dominate in this space. Now, the next type of news we have here is there was analysts that increased their price target on Nvidia to $150 from $110. For those that are not familiar, pre-split, this would have been a $1,500 price target. So we can see some crazy bullish case for Nvidia right now. Before we go any further, we are now on the road to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you all for the crazy support. So if you haven't and are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Finally, if you want to support the channel a little bit more, make sure to check out my special offer at fool.com/Jose. Now back to today's episode. Now, the next topic I want to take a closer look at has to deal with the Chinese market. Huawei, which is the one that's taking advantage of Nvidia's AI chip restrictions. So Huawei has created their own AI chips, the Ascend 910B, and they mentioned that it to be equal in match with the A100. So first, I just want to say that it showcases how far ahead United States, USA, is in forms of the AI race and the AI space. If right now, even with restrictions of Nvidia's chips not being able to go out there, Chinese companies right now are only comparing it to the A100, not even the H100, which was kind of the old news. Now it's the H200, and in a few quarters is going to be the B200. So they're comparing it to the A100, but right now that's all that they can do. And obviously, big Chinese companies are buying it, like Tencent, like Baidu, are buying this Huawei chip. So I personally want to say right now, it seems like the Chinese market is not going to be a strong space for Nvidia anytime soon. The final news I want to talk about before taking a closer look at Oracle earnings is major clients reportedly fully allocate TSMC's production capacity until 2026, mainly due to their 3nm process in high demand. And this is pretty interesting. One thing that I found in this article, they mentioned that 3nm family is expected to start with monthly production capacity to reach between 120,000 and 180,000 pretty soon. but it just kind of showcases that, hey, look, there's so many different companies going to be using with 3 nanometer. And this is, in my opinion, why companies like Nvidia, for the Blackwell architecture, they decided to deal with variants of the 5 nanometer because there's plenty of volume there. There's no reason for Nvidia to go into the 3 nanometer if there's not much capacity, because that's just going to be another supply chain issue. So we don't know yet, but it is expected that the R100, the Rubin, after the Blackwell 200 Ultra, is gonna be based on the 3 nanometer. But by then, TSMC should have a lot more capacity on their supply chain for 3 nanometers. So now for Oracle, we saw that Oracle was up nearly 10% as I am recording. Obviously, this can change. I remember last earnings, the company took a huge increase, but eventually it triggered back down. Overall, we can see that Oracle is on a nice uptrend. So what I really enjoyed Oracle from earnings is it does show a lot of great insight about the AI market, which obviously can help understand more of what's happening with Nvidia in general. So Oracle mentions that in this quarter, they signed their largest contract in history, led by huge demand for training on large language model, as well as record levels of sales of their OCI, which is their Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So overall, we continue to see some strong demand here for the AI market. Some other things that we heard is OpenAI selected Oracle to run deep learnings and AI workloads on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and they signed many other AI customers in this space, roughly 30 AI contracts for over 12 billion this quarter and nearly 17 billion this year. So overall, we continue to see that excitement for the AI market. Another thing, Oracle is expanding its cloud capacity at a fast rate, from their public cloud regions to their database at Azure sites to their database at Google Clouds. They also have various kind of sovereign data centers that they are continuing to increase capacity. And during the earnings, they mentioned that their Oracle Cloud Infrastructure consumption revenue was up 53%, and it would have actually been a lot higher if they weren't supply constrained. And by supply constraint, you know they mean data centers. And we saw they are investing a lot of money on data centers. And they believe that, hey, look, for the upcoming quarters, they're going to grow faster than the previous quarter as they continue to grow in capacity for their clouding infrastructure. And for CapEx, they believe that it will probably be double of what it was in 2024. And again, a good portion of that is going to do with GPU spending. So one of the questions asked during the earnings call was, hey, how are you working with Microsoft and OpenAI? And one thing that they mentioned is they're building a very, very large data center, very big, about half of a huge data center we're building for them. Lots of Nvidia chips, the new Nvidia interconnects, liquid cool, and they're primarily for training. So I think this might be maybe a portion of that Stargate Microsoft data center that we've heard about in a bit. But regardless, we do see that this OpenAI Microsoft partnership is increasing the amount of data centers and Nvidia chips that they need. So obviously very, very good news for Nvidia. The final thing they talked about was something that they haven't talked about too much, and that is that they're building the world's largest data center in the world. They talked about it briefly one previous call where they can park roughly 8 747s nose to tail in the data center. And it's going to be a huge AI training data center. And they're also building 200 megawatt data centers. In fact, in the past quarter, they sold half of that data center for a period of time for AI solutions. So that's all I have for Oracle here and Nvidia. I'll probably do a deeper dive on Oracle earnings in a bit, but we can see Oracle is spending a lot of money on Nvidia chips, and they're building some crazy data centers as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.